closer.
Rotate your device. Can't turn it on while you're live. Oh, what? Okay. Yeah, you might have to hold it. Okay.
Where do you want to be at?
Yeah, okay, that's perfect. Hi, it's Corey here with Royal LePage in Cold Lake, Alberta. I'm sitting down today. We're doing an Ask the Expert theme. I'm here with Tyler Smith at the Mortgage Center, and we're going to have a chat about all things mortgages. So I've got a couple questions. We're just going to sit here and chat about it, and hopefully it gets you guys some valuable information when you are looking at purchasing a home and best steps to move forward, where to start, that kind of thing. So I don't want to make this video too long, so we're going to dive right in and just start asking questions to Tyler here. So first question I have for you, Tyler, is what is the main difference, do you think, dealing with a mortgage broker over a bank?
So the main difference would be, as a mortgage broker, we have access to many lenders, where a specific bank can only offer their institution's products and rates, where we have access across the board.
I'm just going to adjust this here so we can maybe get it a little more. Sorry, people. There we go. Now we're both
There
in
we
there.
go.
Oh, there. Okay.
Perfect.
So you have access to, how many lenders do you have access to?
Close to 30, if not more.
Okay. Okay.
So many, many lenders.
So depending on who you bank with or what kind of products out there available, who's got the best rates, that's kind of how you guys choose which lenders, right?
Yeah, some lenders or institutions have different products available to them that others don't. So if you fall into a unique criteria, we can move you to the lender that suits your needs.
Oh, that makes total sense. Okay. Right now, what's the best product on the market that you have to offer? Like, what if people are kind of out there searching the deals or whatever, looking for the best mortgage for them? Like, what's maybe even in terms of like the military, what's kind of the best that you have to offer right now?
Products vary. Like I said before, every bank has different products they offer. Some may be more better for business for self people, if you're a contractor or something like that, or commission sales. Some will help you out a little more. With military, we have some lenders that will put clauses in there, so if you're ever posted, that you never have to pay a military or a mortgage penalty if you're unable to port your mortgage. And one of the more unique products that I really like is we can offer the Flex Down, which means you can borrow your down payment from your line of credit.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you're a little bit short, you can pull it off there, and we have banks. As long as you qualify, have really good credit, we can go that route as well.
So is that 5, 10, and 20%, or just 5%, or how does that one work?
Normally it has to be between 5 and 15% down.
Okay.
They like it to be an insured mortgage to do
that. Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So what are your, are the lowest interest rates always the best interest rates? Because I do sometimes, when I'm dealing with clients too, like a lot of the times I'll ask them who they're banking with, and the first thing that they say is, I'm banking with X bank because they gave me the lowest interest rate. So I know that sometimes it's not always the best product out there, but I know a lot of people that's going to be the main question. That's going to be the main reason what people are searching for when they are searching on the internet and don't really have very much knowledge of the mortgage business and how it all works, right? So are the lowest interest rates always the best?
We get that question almost daily.
Yeah.
What I tell everybody is the same, is that when looking at rates online or asking banks about specific rates, ask if it's a traditional mortgage. Because when you see these really low rates, if it's too good to be true, often it is. Many times banks or lenders will give you a lower rate, and it may only be very small difference. You might only be saving $2 to $5 a month in payment, but they're going to make it a non-portable mortgage with extremely high penalties.
Yeah.
So you're paying for it in the long run. Or if they have, some banks will offer cash back. So we're going to give you $500 for coming through us, or we'll pay some of your legal fees. Normally, the bank's always going to make money in the end. So they're going to either up the interest rate to offer those products, or they're going to add it to the back of the mortgage. So you always want to ask the questions if there's anything different in the deal.
I remember when I got my very first mortgage was when everything was like zero down, like everybody was offering zero down, and I had no idea until I went to go and actually pay my mortgage out when I sold my place that I actually had to pay that zero down back.
Yep.
So when I called to ask my penalty, they're like, oh, it's X, but you also have to pay back the loan basically that we gave you for the zero down. And it was like an extra $5-6 grand, right?
Yep.
So that's definitely a valuable piece of information to know. And I think the reason why we went that option as well was because it was a quote unquote lower interest rate, right?
Yep.
So What's your best advice for first-time home buyers?
My best advice is always be careful what you look up online. When you look up stuff online, over the past several years, mortgage rules have been changing almost every other month. There's always been a new rule coming and going.
Yeah.
So if you look up on something online, it could be very old, which we have people asking questions on, like the zero down mortgage you just explained. You're not allowed to do those anymore. So there's still websites that advertise those. You cannot, we're not allowed to, especially in Alberta. So make sure the advice you're getting is current. And even if you're talking to friends, family, coworkers, see when they got their mortgage, or take their advice, make some notes, give us a call, and we're always happy to go over and make sure you have the current advice, that you're not going off something that's a little dated.
A little dated, yeah, no kidding. So what is a pre-approval and how does that differ from an actual approval? Because I know that there's a difference, and this is a question that I get all the time, and I have to explain it while I'm doing the offer. And people a lot of the times think that because they have the pre-approval that they are automatically approved to be able to buy any property that they want. And so I think that it's important for us to talk about the difference between a pre-approval and an actual approval, so that when people get to that stage where they're writing an offer on their dream home, they understand how the process kind of works, right? So
Yep, I've seen this a lot in the past, where someone has come into our office with an offer on a property. They were in at their bank, the bank said they were pre-approved, so they wrote the offer, then all of a sudden the bank says, no, sorry, you've been declined for whatever reason, and they don't understand what happened. And I try to explain this to clients even when we're doing up their pre-approval. So what the pre-approval process is we just take the application, and this is the same with most banks.
here.
And, sorry?
No, we're just doing a little bit of a switcheroo here because the
Arms are going sore.
Yeah.
There we go. So with the pre-approval, when we take the application, we're taking in very minimal paperwork, and the banks downtown do the same thing. So when we're doing it, it's basically we're taking all your info, we're typing it in to the banking system, and we're taking some pay stubs. All the pre-approval is going to do is give us a general outline of how much you can afford, and it also holds the interest rate. So it guarantees the interest rate is capped. It can go lower, especially with us. We always tell all our clients, once we do a pre-approval and we have the pre-approval back from the lender, it's computer generated with almost all our banks. We have several that will actually look at a file.
Yeah.
They will not look at any paperwork. So you could tell us, yes, I make $10,000 a month, but until we get those pay stubs, or you provide us with the rest of the paperwork, stuff can change when it comes to the approval process. So the main difference with the approval and the pre-approval, once you have an offer on a property and we send it into the bank for an approval, then the bank starts picking apart your credit. They start picking apart all the paperwork you've now provided that goes along with the application to make sure everything matches. And that's when some people have those discrepancies.
So that's a question that I have for you then. So at the pre-approval stage, are you actually pulling credit, or are you waiting until the approval process of it?
No, we always pull credit. Credit is good for up to 30 days.
30 days, okay.
So we pull credit, we make sure there's nothing on there's no bankruptcies hiding, there's no collections, anything like that. Or what we can also do at that point is if there's a couple glitches on your credit, we can give you some advice. We've had to put people on a 2-month, a 1-month, a 5-year plan to fix credit to be able to get you into a house in the future.
So that's a question too, like in terms of credit. I know people want to shop around too, like people want to look for rates. So it's I've been told it's not a good idea for you to get your credit pulled every single place that you go to shop. Yeah. So, you know, that actually increases your beacon score because you're dealing with like Equifax isn't even a person, it's just a computer system. So all it sees is it's thinking decline because that's why you're shopping, right? Yeah. So, Now, how is a pre-approval beneficial when purchasing a house then? Like if it's only giving you kind of half the information and saying, okay, yeah, based on the information that you've told me, you get X dollars, you know, how is that beneficial when it comes to actually, you know, purchasing a house? Why wouldn't they just go straight to the approval and just say, screw the pre-approval?
A bank will not look at the approval process until you have an offer on a house. So the pre-approval gives us the general guidelines. So we can look at your credit ahead of time, make sure there's nothing wrong with it. There's no glitches, because we've had people in the past where they may have a very common name and they may have a collection on there that's not there, so it gives them time to contact whoever it was and have it removed. And it also gives them a budget, how much they can afford, how much payments are going to be. Make sure, yes, you might be approved up to X amount of dollars, but can you actually afford the payments?
It's funny that you mentioned that. I was doing an interview with a friend for another reason, and she was telling me that her brother married someone with the exact same name as her. So their credit is mixed because every time, so she said like her school loans are on her sister-in-laws and yada yada yada, like it's so that would give you the time to kind of get all that off of there and have that handled.
It doesn't happen often, but I've seen it in the past, and it's definitely something you want to get sorted out, especially if it's something negative on your credit.
Totally. Okay, so we get the offer, we're all accepted, everybody's excited, we submit it to you. How long does it take for you to get me an approval? How long does that usually take?
If we have been provided with all the paperwork, your pay stubs, everything that we've requested for supporting documents, we can normally have approval back within 48 to 72 hours. We've had it, our record we've had is 3 hours. We've had someone in at the bank, 100% done at the lawyers within 3 hours.
That's awesome.
Doesn't happen very often, but a general rule of thumb is 48 to 72 hours.
So provided, and that's what another reason why you're recommending the pre-approval then.
Yeah.
Because then, you've already got the majority of the information, it's just a few
gives you time
pieces that you need, yeah.
And then it gives you time to go and say your business for self. We need it's a little more paperwork if you're business for self, so it gives us time for you to contact your accountant and get us some more extra paperwork.
Okay, perfect. Down payments, that's important because now we need to have money down to buy houses. So what's sort of the minimum down payment?
I get this a lot, and there's a lot of rumors out there on how much a down payment is. The biggest one over the last few weeks we've been having is if you're on your second, third house, you're no longer a first-time home buyer, your down payment increases.
Yeah, I thought that too, actually.
Yes, and the rumors out there, we've been getting it over the last month. As long as you are living in the property, owner occupying the house, it is 5% down as long as you qualify under the normal, there's no special circumstance.
Okay.
But a normal average person, 5% down payment as long as you're living in it. It could be your first house, could be your 10th house, as long as you're living in it. You can also put 5% down if you're buying a second home. So say you've got kids going off to university, you want to buy a condo in the city instead of paying rent. If it's what they consider a second home or vacation home, it's not a rental, it's still 5% down.
Okay, but if it's considered a rental, that's when they're wanting 20.
It has to be minimum 20.
Perfect. See, I learned something new every day too.
There are some banks that have upped it in Alberta, unfortunately, with everything with the downturn.
New stress testing, yeah.
They want 25%, but if that's the case, we just switch lenders and we go with someone with 20.
Perfect. Okay. And where can you get this down payment from? So, I mean, a lot of people, they've got student loans or...
a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
So, down payment generally will come from several ways. You can have... Yeah, I was doing the same. You can have it come from savings, RSPs, gift from a direct family member.
There we go.
Most banks have... The banks and CMHC or the insurers have different rules for gifting. So, always check if who's allowed to gift, because it's general thumb is it's a direct family member. You can also have it come from the borrowed down payment, like I said before, as long as you qualify. You can have it come off a pre-existing line of credit as well.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I know. I think the first mortgage I got, or second maybe, I don't know. I got money from grandma, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Grandma's allowed.
Okay, last question. Let's talk about your app, because I've been seeing this on Facebook. You guys just launched a new app. It's kind of cool. First of all, where do you download this app?
So if you go on our website, it's right across the top banner of our website. It links you over if you're on an Android or an Apple. It takes you right into the store and you can download it. I advise everyone to go through the website as they are linked.
It's not letting us do it. Yeah,
we're losing it.
Sorry, yeah.
So with the app, I would advise go through the website just for the fact that it's linked over to us. If you go onto the app stores and just type in the Mortgage Center app, you'll get the general one for across Canada. It's not specific to us or our area. You can download ours, and because we're in a military town and people are going all over the country, when you're looking at interest rates, it even asks you what province are you going to, and you can see the best interest rates per province. What I tell everybody though is it's a general interest rate. There are lenders out there that have really low interest rates, and we saw this summer. We had a bank that had a phenomenal rate, but it was only if you bought in the city of Edmonton or Calgary. So unfortunately, we weren't able to offer it out here. So if it's a really good rate and you want to ask about it, call us, text us, email us, and we will let you know if it's available where you're moving to or if you're buying in Cold Lake.
And you can do that right off the app, right?
Yep.
So if they want to contact you, they get on the app, they've gone to your website, they've downloaded the app, and they're starting to look through it. And if they've got questions or they're getting stalled at anywhere, they can text you right off the app, right?
Yep, you can do right on the app. It'll let you call us, email us, text us, and just shoot us a quick message and say, hey, we want to call or we have questions, and you could set up an appointment or just call or text us and we'll answer any questions you have.
Super cool. So what would you say are the top 3 features of this app?
The one I like the best is it updates the interest rates twice a day.
That's
so
cool.
It always has the most current, because I see this all the time where people call us and say, hey, I saw this rate online. It's phenomenal. Unfortunately, it was from 3 months ago or 6 months ago before there was a rate update.
Right, yeah.
So they just haven't updated their website. This one updates twice a day. It's always current. Like I said, the only thing is I always tell people, unfortunately, we're in a smaller area. Just make sure we will let you know if the lowest rate that it's advertising is available in our area.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Excellent. Okay, well, you know what? That's all the questions we have. Like I said, we wanted to kind of keep it nice and short for you guys. But again, Tyler, thanks for sitting down with me today.
No
I
problem.
appreciate it. And it's definitely some good, valuable information for people who are looking. Maybe if you're just starting to look right now and you're just kind of getting some preliminary information, definitely check this out, because there's a lot of great info that Tyler just gave me. And if you are looking to purchase a home, probably the best place to start is to go and talk to a mortgage broker, find out what you qualify for, find out, get them to pull your credit, get them to have a look and make sure that you can qualify for what you're looking at, so that when you give me a call, we're not showing you houses that aren't out of your price range, or maybe you could have even qualified for more, or could have gotten something a little bit nicer or something like that, right? So definitely my advice usually when I am meeting with people for the first time, and usually actually my first question is, have you been to the bank yet? That's probably the most important thing, is getting the pre-approval down and making sure that you are out shopping for what you qualify for. So thank you very much for sitting down with me
Perfect.
for the few minutes here and chatting about this and answering my questions. And yeah.
Anytime.
All right. See you guys later.